everyone. It is Wednesday, August 27, 2025. It is 7:05 p.m. Welcome to our regular meeting of the Mililani-Waipi'o Melemanu Neighborhood Board number 25. We're meeting online, hybrid, and in person in Mililani High School H building. First, I'd like to call this meeting to order by inviting everyone to stand if you are able to cite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Again, as a part of our public notice, this is a hybrid meeting, meaning that there are both attendees in person and online. It is this board's request that if there are board members or members of the public who wish to be heard and participate in this meeting, to politely raise your hand so that you can be seen and heard and voice your concern and question and comment so that we can have an orderly meeting. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Rachel to establish roll call so that we can establish a quorum. Go ahead, Rachel.
Thank you. When I call your name, please state you're present online or in person. Bass?
Present online.
Thank you. And then Carmody? Absent. Okay. Flores?
Here.
Present. And then Free?
Present online.
Online. Thank you. Gustafin?
Present in person.
Thank you. Inouye?
Present.
Thank you. Kanehe? Absent. Ka'apanangaki? Present. Kim? Present. Kennard? Absent. Kupuka'a? Absent. Darsha Lee? Present. Marilyn Lee? Present. Nagamine?
Here.
Present. Alex Ozawa? Present. Catherine Ozawa?
Present online.
Online, thank you. Park?
Present online.
You. Lana?
Present.
Present. Ross? Absent. Segura? Absent. Smart?
Present.
Present. Sepsina?
Present online.
Thank you. Williams?
Present online.
Fine. Thank you. We have 17 members present and we do meet the quorum.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Thank you, members. First up, let's go with monthly reports. I'd like to recognize Honolulu Fire Department for the report. Welcome.
How's it, everybody? Hang on just a second. Okay. All right. So the statistics provided below represent confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood board's geographic area for the previous month. For more details on the incidents and related mapping information, please visit the fire response search tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the news and info tab. If you have any questions, you can email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. So information previously requested, I guess the question was asked last month about fireworks incidents. And there was one reported fireworks related incident island-wide from July 4th, 2025, starting from 0800 to 0800 on July 5th, 2025. Statistics for July 2025, fires, structure fires, 0, wildland/brush, 5, nuisance fires, 2, cooking fires, 1, activated, hang on just a second. Okay, sorry. Cooking fires, 1, activated alarms, no fire, 4. Emergencies, there's 76 medical emergencies, 0 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 6 motor vehicle crash/collisions, 0 mountain rescues, ocean rescues, and hazmat incidents. And the fire safety tip and announcement. Fire safety tip, emergency notifications and resources. Understanding how you'll be alerted during urgent emergencies and knowing where to find accurate official information is a key part of being prepared. Learn more at honolulu.gov/dem/stay-informed. The alert methods, the first one, the opt-in alert. These notify individuals who have signed up to receive alerts via text, email, or app push notifications based on user preferences. Alerts are not sent based on location. Systems include HNL Alert and official government social media. Sign up at hnlalert.gov to receive notifications. Alerts may be shared by official, city, state, and trusted partner accounts. The second item is public alert and warning systems. These systems deliver urgent, life-saving information during immediate threats to public safety. In Hawaii, this includes, number one, the emergency alert system. Number two, wireless emergency alerts. Number three, outdoor warning sirens. Depending on the emergency, one or more of these systems may be activated. And that's all I got. Any questions?
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? For those in the room in person, please raise your hand and Vice Chair Nagamine will recognize you. Vice Chair Nagamine will also recognize those raising their hands online. Go ahead, Vice Chair.
No hands raised in the room.
Okay, seeing no questions, thank you for your report. We'll move on to HPD.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Scott Vieira with the Waipi'o Police Station. I'm the Night Watch Commander. I'll go ahead with the stats for the last month. There were 4 assaults. There was 0 robberies, 2 burglaries. There were 7 unauthorized entry into motor vehicles or vehicles being broken into. And total calls for service were 802. The safety tip for the month, being that school's back in session, both public, private, and our colleges, traffic is going to be busy as usual. So just some reminders. Check to make sure your vehicle had its proper maintenance. You know, you don't want to be that person stalled on the side of the road, especially on the freeway. I don't know if you guys ever been stalled, but it's not a pleasant experience. Plan ahead and allow enough time for traffic tie-ups. Avoid using your phone and other electronic devices. And drive with aloha, be courteous, and look out for pedestrians. That's all I have. Any questions?
Members, are there any questions?
Sabrina has one question.
Sabrina Gustafson. I have a question regarding vehicle safety inspection and registration. Over the past couple weeks, I've seen a lot of people with expired registration and safety inspection. If I take a picture of the vehicle, can I turn it into Crime Stoppers for follow-up? Or is that something you guys have to see in the process?
So you could report it, but we would have to see that vehicle on the public roadway to give it a citation, because it's not illegal to have an expired tag parked in the driveway of their home. But if it's on the road and you see it, it is a violation. But for us to enforce it, we need to see that.
Okay. So is it better to turn it into Crime Stoppers or to call 911 when I see it on the road and you guys follow it?
You could call 911, and if an officer's in the area, we could respond and see if
Okay. Can you guys access vehicles parked in like the Mililani Town Center parking lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Marilyn, I got your request. It's regarding parking issues. I will bring it up and I'll put it in my report and ask the officers to make checks. This was a parking complaint, Mililani-Waipi'o Middle School, correct? During drop-off times. Okay. Thank you.
Are there any further questions from members of the neighborhood board?
Ed Flores.
Okay.
Yes, officer, thank you for being here this evening. I just have one concern, and maybe let's turn it into a question here. You know, at the corner by Ruby Tuesdays, is that Mehula and Lalikuhana, there's constantly, somebody's going to get T-boned one day. You know, after the light changes, you see 3-4 cars going through. I think that, you know, what's prudent for everybody is to wait and make sure they make their runs first. But I know that's a tough intersection to for HPD to monitor because there's just no place where you guys can pull over or kind of hold. Is there a solution to that? And also down at Ka'iolani and Mihula, Lanipuana?
So,
Also-
you know, that intersection does pose problems for us sometimes. So I'll ask the officer to monitor, but if you see something like a particular violation, like the woman brought up, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but if you see a particular violation and you got a license plate, you could call it in and we could respond. If not, sometimes we get the registered owner's address and we can counsel the drivers on their behavior or whatever action they.
Yeah, I know it's a tough area, but it's just not one car running through that, red light.
Right.
It's like 4 or 5
Right.
cars going through.
Right.
And I know you guys are aware of that. And like I said, that's a tough area to monitor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the Mililani Neighborhood Board? Hearing none, are there any questions from the audience for HPD?
Oh, wait, Kurumi, Kaapana Aki.
Hi, I was
ahead.
wondering what's the possibility and what's the status on getting the HPD to occupy as a substation the old Ruby Tuesday
Yeah,
Texas run?
I know that was brought up at the last meeting. You know, I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything. Did you guys hear about that? Ruby? Yeah, I'm sorry. I can check again with my supervisors, but I was not aware of that situation. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know what the progress is. I'm sorry about that. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, where did you hear about that?
From a police officer,
Oh, okay.
that it was a possibility. It was an
okay.
ideal location,
Oh, okay. Okay.
centrally located.
Okay.
Are there any members of the public who have any questions for HPD?
Yes, there's one person.
Go ahead.
Yep,
Please
please
state
come
your
up to
name
the
for the
mic and-
record.
Yeah, please come up to the mic and introduce yourself.
Good evening. I'm sorry. This is my first neighborhood board meeting. I'm not sure if you're also taking care of Waipi'o Gentry.
Waipi'o Gentry is the Waipahu Neighborhood Board.
Oh, the Waipahu.
Yeah, so basically, once you cross Kipapa Gulch, the boundary is basically like Coral Ridge, Waipi'o Gentry. That's all Waipahu Neighborhood Board.
Could I just ask HPD a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had videotaped a minor, and I don't believe he has a driver license to drive a moped, and he was double packing somebody. Do I call HPD for that?
Use the mic.
The mic.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you see what you think is a violation, the best thing to do is call 911. You can have an officer actually stop that particular vehicle and make checks of who they are.
I feel bad because this is a wildlife incident where the police were kind of catch 22 where they were following in pursuit of a vehicle.
Mhm.
And then they kind of lost their jobs because they got blamed for the
Oh,
accident.
use the microphone, please.
I would feel bad for the police to be caught in a situation where they're pursuing. Because I wouldn't want the police to be caught and lose their jobs over getting blamed for the pursuit, say if they were trying to catch the moped rider.
So, yeah, again, the best thing would be to call 911 and we won't necessarily pursue that moped, but if we can conduct a traffic stop, we can identify that particular moped, that particular two occupants and see if there was a violation and take action.
Another question for HPD. If I'm having
Use the microphone, please.
If I'm having trouble with a minor harassing me and my property, say like if they threw litter, could I call HPD?
Yes, if you feel you're being harassed by anyone, you can call HPD and we can investigate. Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, could we just get the person's name for the record? I don't think she said her name.
Did you want to provide your name for the record? Doris Cuano? Okay. And yes, please come up to the mic.
My name is Valerie Gawa, and I'm just like the lady. This is my first meeting at the neighborhood board. But, so one issue is that memorial on Kipapa Gulch. So it's very dangerous, but I thought there's a law that we don't do memorials. Because I seen people stop over there and it's a blind corner. But when I called the police, they said they actually have to be there when the person is there. And I'm driving Kipapa Gulch to go home. I can't use my phone till I go home. And then people speeding in Mililani. But I heard somebody said that they're gonna put bumps. Is that true?
That's a question that we can ask the mayor's representative later in the meeting. However, yeah, just for your like information, you are allowed to like make 911 calls from your cell phone while you're driving. That's like an exemption that's written into the cell phone law. Other than that, like.
But I can't do that and drive, not on Kipapa. It's in the night.
Okay. Officer, did you want to say anything else?
Yeah, I definitely don't want you to put yourself at risk and try to call while you're driving, but as soon as you can safely make a call. And if there's people on the roadway, especially on Kipapa Gulch, I would ask anyone to please call because they shouldn't be there. As far as the memorial, sometimes if it's in the roadway, the police don't actually take those down. But people being in the roadway is a problem. We would enforce that if you call. Mhm. Yes. Definitely. Yeah, they should not be on the side of the road. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and do you want to introduce yourself for the record or no? Okay, Valerie Gao. Okay, anyone else wishing to have any questions for HPD? Okay, Danielle.
All right, thank you, officer, for your report. Next up, we have U.S.
you.
Army 25th ID.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sergeant Olivia Cowart, representing U.S. Army Garrison. Thank you for having me. Talking points for August are an upcoming job fair that was held August 19th. The issue with these talking points is that they come out at the beginning of the month and then this is held at the end of the month. So there was a job fair, but for any applicants still looking for jobs that have missed the job fair, you can go to www.himwr.com. And that will provide resources for employment. If you are looking for a job, please be able to provide proof of ID, social security card, resume, or application. They're particularly looking for people to work business operations like golf, bowling, food service, and many more. Also, I mentioned this last month, they are still looking for child youth services, and they are really pushing for people who have experience in childcare and who are looking for work. That these jobs come with access to recreation facilities, discounted childcare training, and commissary and PX privileges. If you're interested in working with children, we have a position for you. Come out and see the available employment opportunities. Once again, that's www.himwr.com. Next, there was a lot of training that went on through the month of August. If you have any questions or want to be added to the distribution list where this training is put out at the beginning of the month, please call the community concern line at 808-787-1528. And we appreciate your understanding and patience. The type of training that went on throughout the past month was Ranger/jungle tactics, small arms blank fire, aviation training, and artillery, mortar, and demolitions training. As of today, all of this has been concluded. If you want to be added to the training advisory list to receive the dates and the types of training that will be going on at the beginning of the month, please email usag.hawaii.comrel@army.mil for a more timely calendar. Going on forward training, we will be conducting Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center, which is, they shortened it to a big training called JPMRC. The 25th ID will be executing this annual training exercise between October and November of this year, 2025. Please be aware there will be an increase in traffic and noise. More details will follow in the coming months as we get closer to the exercise. And the Army will share as much information as possible to keep the community informed. I recommending following the U.S. Hawaii Garrison Facebook page. They are on top of it when it comes to notices and training that's going on. For any concerns, please call our new community concern line with the U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii at 808-787-1528 or usag.hawaii.comrel@army.mil. Please reach out to those numbers or email if you have any concerns.
Okay.
Members of the board, are there any questions?
Yeah, no hands raised in the room.
Members of the audience, are there any questions for the U.S. Army?
No one from the audience.
Right, seeing and hearing none, thank you for your report.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Okay, next up, we have Kathleen Pahinui from Board of Water Supply.
Aloha Board. I'm happy to report there were no main breaks in your community last month. And up here on the table, we have a flyer for our Imagine a Day Without Water event on September 20th. It's going to be held at Windward Mall. And we have about 24 state and city and other nonprofit agencies talking about water and other things that they do. And we will also have a prize giveaway of a rain barrel, and we will also have workshops. So if you can make it, it would be great. It's a great event. It's very family friendly. If you're looking for something for take the grandkids or the kids to, it's a great event. It's inside, so nice and cool, lots of air conditioning. And that is my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Kathleen. Members of the board, are there any questions? Please raise your hand.
Darsha Lee.
Hi.
Hey, Darsha.
Are there any updates on the lawsuit that was filed against the Navy for that $1.2 billion for the Red Hill cleanup?
No, and because we're in a lawsuit, you know, the legal language is, I'm not at liberty to talk about this right now, but the minute something does happen that we are able to share with you, you guys most definitely will be the first to know. Thank you.
Yep, no other hands raised.
I see Sharon Williams has I guess a comment for clarification to Kathleen. She's a board member of our neighborhood board, clarifying that there was a water main break by her house yesterday here in Mililani. So Sharon, you might
Yes,
want to
that we'll report on that one next month. Unfortunately, our reports tend to lag a month behind. But thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Are there any members of the public who would like to who have any questions for Board of Water Supply?
Yep, no hands raised in the room.
Seeing and hearing none, thank you so much, Kathleen, for your report.
Mahalo.
Okay, next up, we have Sherry Nakamura from School Facilities Authority. Welcome, Sherry.
Aloha, everyone. It's Sherry Nakamura from the School Facilities Authority. Actually, we would like to, we combine the updates with the presentation. So if we may, we'd like to just present everything during the presentation section, if that's okay with the board.
Yes, please. So we are going to present this later on under the presentation subsection A.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
sounds great. Thank you. Okay, next up, we got approval of meeting minutes. I'm going to turn it over Sabrina to make the motion accepting July 23rd's regular meeting minutes. Go ahead, Sabrina.
The regular meeting minutes were emailed out or sent out to everybody. The NCO has now done something a little bit different. They're using AI to format the minutes. So we no longer have to have the questions. In the minutes, you would notify or you notice that people are identified, their question or concern is summarized, and then if they did ask a question, the question becomes part of the minutes. One of the ways that you can help AI interpret what you're saying is to be clear and concise, as well as state your name for identification purposes so that they can pull it out when they create the minutes. I received no corrections regarding these minutes, but if anybody has any, I'm welcome to take them. If not, I move to approve the minutes.
Mahalo, Sabrina. And there's a motion from Sabrina, seconded by Karumi. Is there any discussion to the minutes?
Yeah, no hands raised in the room.
All right, seeing and hearing none, turning it over to Rachel for the vote.
Okay, so since nobody had any amendments or any comments about the minutes, we'll pass the July 23rd minutes as written. Thank you.
Everybody here in person received a copy of the July 30th special meeting minutes. This meeting minute draft is a combination of all 4 neighborhood boards reviewed it, looked at it, made some changes, and I have received no adjustments or corrections. Therefore, I move to approve these minutes.
Second.
Meeting minutes were moved for July 30th special meeting by Sabrina, seconded by Mary Smart. Members, are there any discussion to the minutes for the special meeting?
No hands raised in the room.
Right. Seeing and hearing none, Rachel for the vote.
Okay, so since there were no discussion for amendments, we'll pass this July 30th joint meeting, special meeting minutes as written. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So it's 7:33. I want to open it up to see if there's any community members who would like to come forward and express any comments or concern within decorum regarding any events or concerns within the Mililani community. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes per issue for items not on the agenda. Is there anyone who would like to raise any comments or concerns at this time?
Yes. Yeah. So just please come up to the mic. Introduce yourself if you'd like, and just again, we do have a 3-minute time limit.
Aloha. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. My name is Daniel Michael Gabriel. I actually live in Wahiawa, but I am a T-ball coach for the COBA Association. I just want to highlight the issues that I see at the Mililani District Park. Recently, I had to cover a hole at my own expense where the old football goalpost is. It was about a 6-inch deep hole with about a 4 to 3-inch metal pipe sticking up in that hole, and it's been there for several years. And it's been a concern of mine, so I eventually just covered it myself. I will provide the board with some photos of that repair. My second concern is at the playground there. There is a missing slide at the Mililani District Park. The slide support was cut flat at the cushion that's at the base of the playground, But if someone were to fall, say, and hit their head or their kneecap or something like that, it would stick up through the padding and actually stick out. And it's a sharp piece of metal that's been filled with cement. And I'm just concerned about a kid hitting themselves on that and basically getting injured. Another thing is I'd like to see, this might be according to something I should address with the Department of Parks and Recreation, but the baseball fields there are in grave need of watering. The dirt is very dusty, like powdery. So when the ball hits the dirt, it just stops. Whereas if it hits the grass, which is dead and dry, it just rolls and rolls. So if we could get a little bit of funding and maybe some water turned on there and its sprinklers going, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone on the board want to say anything? Okay. Yes, we will have a representative from the mayor's office here tonight. I'm not sure if they're here in person already. Because we have a new person who was assigned to us just recently. But again, that would again we can if you're willing to stick around, you'd be able to raise your concerns directly with them when they come up on the agenda. Okay. Anyone else have anything they would like to talk about?
Trevor, I have Jocelyn online raising her hand.
Okay, go ahead.
You know that I am here, and I heard what the last person had mentioned about his concerns about Mililani District Park.
Oh, Jocelyn, so you're going to be our mayor's representative?
I am, and I'm a Mililani girl. I'm a Mililani High School graduate.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Jocelyn, later on in the mayor's report, could you introduce yourself and just restate that again? Good to see you, and thank you for being our mayor's representative. Okay. Seeing that there are no other committee members who have any questions or comments within the committee concerns, we're going to close that session and move on to presentations. I'd like to invite.
Did you want to speak? Okay.
Oh, is there someone else? Okay.
Oh yeah, Valerie Gao. This can be a beautiful community, and I'd like to go walking around the perimeter of Walmart, the Mililani Town Center Shopping Center. But you notice when people come out of the shopping center between Cane's and Taco Bell, there's a stop sign, but nobody's stopping. And they're busy looking to the left and just constantly, and I'm walking this way from Cane's to Taco Bell, and even the next exit by Walmart. So I wrote a letter to the shopping center, and the answer they gave me was she'll let security monitor it because HPD said they cannot ticket those people because that's a private place. Yeah, that they come out. But what good is that? Because there's no security monitoring. And then I don't know why they said Walmart is separate. So the shopping center had to tell Walmart, but they're not doing anything either. So where's my right as a walker? Yeah, something gotta be done. How many of you walk? Yeah. Try and walk around.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else in the room have anything they would like to talk about? Going once, going twice. Okay, now we're done.
Okay. I'd like to invite back Sherry Nakamura from the State School Facilities Authority to present on the environmental assessment process for the Mililani High School Teacher Workforce Housing Project. Go ahead, Sherry.
Aloha again. And thank you for always having us as a standing item on the agenda every month. We realize that, you have a full agenda today, so we'll try to be as brief as possible during this presentation. I'm pleased to report that we have reached a new milestone in our workforce housing project. Now that we have settled on a site for the housing on the campus, and if you can turn to the slide, next slide. I know that it is small, but yes, if you can zoom in. So that red area there is where the workforce housing project will be. We will be embarking on the State Environmental Assessment, or EA. And then you can go to the next slide. So now you have to zoom out. Pacific Housing Assistance Corporation, a nonprofit developer who has more than 40 years of experience of developing affordable housing here in our islands, is our partner in this project and will be overseeing the EA process. And I'm pleased to have members of Pacific Housing online, and they can be available to answer questions. I will introduce them after we have the slides over and we finish the slides. So the environmental assessment will begin next month, starting with the distribution of pre-assessment consultation letters so that recipients can help to identify any potential environmental issues early. This will avoid, minimize, or mitigate any impacts prior to construction. The environmental assessment is a planning tool to identify potential environmental impacts. It will address issues such as traffic, flora and fauna, archaeological resources, impacts to cultural practices on site, noise, and other environmental resources. You can go to the next slide. So we have a timeline. I know that's not so easy to see, but we can provide these slides to everyone afterwards. There will also be a period for the public to review the draft EA and share their comments or concerns. Pacific Housing expects to have a draft EA available in the first quarter of 2026. Pacific Housing also plans to hold a public meeting in early 2026 to provide the community with an update on the EA. Any community feedback from the meeting will be reviewed as the final EA is prepared, which we anticipate will be completed in May of next year. So I hope this gives everyone a clear idea on where we are today with the Mililani project. We can plan to provide updates as we make progress. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at SFA or visit our website. So you can close I guess the next slide will have my information. So if you want to take a picture of that, you can always reach out to me at my email address or go to our website and you can ask questions or provide comment. So actually, I would like to introduce some members of Pacific Housing Assistance Corporation. I believe they're online. Rachel, could you, so the executive director is Audrey Awaya. I believe I saw her online. And also she's the executive director of Pacific Housing. And we also have Karen Arakawa, who is the director of project development. And she is also online, I believe. Good evening. And if you have specific questions about the EA, we will try to answer them as best as we can. So I will hand it back to Danielle.
Thank you so much, Sherry, and thank you to Pacific Housing for being here tonight. Members of the Mililani Neighborhood Board, are there any questions for the School Facilities Authority or Pacific Housing?
Hey, Kurumi?
Could we go back to the first slide where you showed the geographical map on the location? Yes. So I guess I just want a clarification on precisely the area. Does it include the bottom parking area of the gymnasium? So where would technically the egress be for this complex? Would you be going in through the already that traffic light area going into the gym parking?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't plan to at this time, although it's still early in our design process, we don't plan to use the existing Mililani ingress and egress to Mililani High School, but we'll be creating our own our own ingress and egress off of the parkway.
It's difficult to hear.
Sorry, it must be my microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, we don't plan to use the existing Mililani High School entrance, ingress and egress, but we plan to create our own that will be using off of Mihiula Parkway. So it would be a separate separate new driveway.
Okay, Mary Smart.
Very smart. In the last meeting, it was mentioned that this area is going to be totally separate from the high school area. What's going to be used to create that separation? Fencing or what?
Yes, we intend to completely fence our the project site.
Okay, what kind of fence?
We're not sure at this point, because it's kind of early in our design. But you know, something surely that would be attractive and you know that would be able to separate the high school activities and function from the housing.
Thank you.
Okay, Sabrina Gustafson.
Sabrina Gustafson, how can the community participate in the EA or submit testimony regarding their position?
Okay, so have we decided that how that's going to happen? All right.
Well, letters requesting comments will be sent to the neighborhood board, various stakeholders in the Mililani area. Yeah.
And when the draft EA is published, there is a public comment period where you can review the draft EA and submit your comments.
I didn't realize that Lacey Shimabukuro was on. She is the program project manager of the project. So she just answered that when the draft EA is, so I just to reiterate what both Karen and Lacey said. So there will be some consultation letters going out, and I believe certain agencies and entities will be contacted for feedback. And then there will be a period where the draft EA is proposed, and there will be a time where the public can comment on the draft EA. I think that's what was mentioned.
Yes.
And yeah. And of course, I will be here every month to update this board and as well as the Mililani Mauka, as well as the school community council on the progress as we move forward.
Darsha.
Hello. At what point do we start talking about the pricing for the housing? Because I think that was a big concern that the pricing that was proposed before was not affordable for Hawaii's teachers.
Well, yeah, thank you for that question. We only recently were able to, you know, as Sherry mentioned, establish a site. We're working with the School Facilities Authority, DOE, and Mililani High School. So, you know, currently our design team, we're still working on redesigning the project based on the new project area and the boundaries. So, you know, right now we don't have any kind of details on the project. And we won't until, we've completed our design and our analysis on the new project site. So, we'll certainly come back to the neighborhood board when we have, further details on the project.
My hand's been up for a while now.
Wait. Danielle, do you want to finish going through the people in the room, or do you want to?
And go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I thought we were doing alternate. Okay, fine. All right, so I have the same related question. So I have two questions. One is the so-called affordability of these units still being based on real estate prices? Or are we considering basing affordability on income? Keeping in mind the average teacher's salary is $55,000 a year, starting with the lower folks that were new, incoming people were probably trying to retain at $42,000 a year. So related to the question that was just asked, we know that given the first information that we were given about affordability, is that it's not affordable. And then third question is, what if teachers cannot afford to live in that housing? What will happen to it then? That's it.
Well, our affordability or our rents will be based on income, and those are guidelines that are established by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and they come up with what they consider as affordable rents based on a certain level of income. So we're going to abide. We have to abide by those federal rules, and I'm not quite sure. I think that the starting teacher salary, from what I understand, is a little higher than what you've kind of indicated. But certainly, our intent is to provide housing that's affordable for teachers that are starting out in their careers, and to provide housing that's affordable for probably two teachers, that who would like to, share an apartment, to lower their housing costs. So, all of those different factors we're taking into account, which, we haven't established or finalized our, rents, and even our housing types at this point, as I said, because, we had to redesign our project again. So that's where we're in the process right now of establishing all of those items. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, my question is, I was looking at the map and from your geographic map, the red area, the entrance right now, there was a question asked earlier. Right now, it's a corner of Anania Drive and Mehiura Parkway. And when you go in to watch football, volleyball games like that, you go in that entrance and then you turn right. The question was asked, does it take the parking lot on the left when you go into that area? And I think the answer is yes. It does take that parking area away. So I think in part of, it's still early, but I'd like to see what the final draft would be as far as parking goes for people coming to sports events. Thank you.
Yeah, I think those are that's a good point. Excellent point. And those your concern is we're taking that into account and working with the school as well as the school facilities authority to address that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already.
Okay. Yeah, so does anyone else in the room who has not spoken yet have any questions? Okay, anyone? Danielle?
Okay, I see that Josie has her hand up, so go ahead, Josie. I'll be following Josie for a board question, and then we're gonna open it up to the public. I see Robin has her hand up online. So Josie, followed by myself, then Robin, then we can circle back to Sabrina for a second round.
Mahalo, Josie Ka'anehe. Can you hear me? Great.
Yes.
I just want to clarify, it's supposed to be for teachers and staff in the educational system, correct? Not
Yes,
just
that's
teachers. Okay.
correct.
So a lot of them do have a low pay. So that's a concern. And second, when you're designing this, could you consider instead putting the washer and dryer in the units instead of creating a laundromat? Because we do have problems with some of the townhouse locations that have laundromats, that they're finding homeless that are in there at night when they go in there to do their laundry. And sometimes they don't feel safe. So I know some people that will not do laundry at night and they will only do it in the daytime.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that input.
Thank you.
I have a few questions, Audrey.
Yes.
First, you spoke about secondary ingress and egress that you guys will be, or that this project will be constructing along Meheula Highway or Meheula Parkway, excuse me. What considerations are you folks doing in terms of this EA to show that traffic is being accurately considered with the Anania traffic light right there, as well as, you know, the ingress egress for the high school students at Anania? I don't know where particularly your ingress egress is located, but further down that same parkway is the ingress egress to the post office. So I'm envisioning quite a few right turns in that right turn lane now on the Meheula Parkway. Can you elaborate a little more how you're taking that into account in this EA to address those concerns?
That'll all be taken into account with the traffic study that's currently being conducted. And maybe, Lacey, did they start already or they're going to start soon?
So we will be doing a traffic impact assessment report as part of the environmental assessment. And our traffic engineer has already reached out to Department of Transportation Services and State DOT and was advised to do traffic counts from along Meheula Parkway from Kamehameha Highway to Ho'okelewa. So there will be traffic counts for 5 intersections along Meheula Parkway, and we expect them to start doing that in about a week or two. They were waiting for UH to start session as well as for Mililani High School so they can accurately measure the anticipated traffic. So
Thank
once
you.
we get those, so
Karen,
we'll
just as a
review that
follow-up.
and
Oh, go ahead.
oh, I'm done. Thank you.
As a follow-up to the traffic counts, how long will the survey take place for that area?
I believe he does several hours at each intersection. So they look at the morning and afternoon peaks.
For a duration of a week, 2 weeks, a month?
I believe I will have to get back to you on that one. Yeah, about a week.
About a week. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's very encouraging to learn that the TIAR will be included in the EA. My second question is regarding community access in terms of this environmental assessment process kicking off. Will SFA or Pacific Housing Authority be launching a dedicated website to this effect, announcing this environmental assessment where all Mililani residents and Mililani high school teachers, staff, students, etc., can log in, drop their emails down into that form online for you folks to manage that information for this ongoing environmental assessments project interest, as well as, I guess, secondary to that, is SFA considering mailing out a small 3x5 postcard to all Mililani residents regarding just to give them that information that this is beginning now, and encouraging those Mililani residents to sign up at the website, give you the email so that they can be regularly included and involved in the off chance that they're not regular attending Mililani or Malka neighborhood board meetings or Mililani school community council meetings. Thank you.
We can certainly
I-
take feedback, but go ahead.
Right, this is Lacey. Sorry, I was just gonna say that SFA does have a website that they regularly update, so I'm sure that they will be posting throughout the EA process. The EA is being contracted by a local company with Pacific Housing, and we are asking all comments to be directed to our environmental assessment consultant, and that information can be shared with SFA to distribute on the website.
Okay, Mahalo, we're going to open it up to members of the public who have questions. I see that Robin has her hand up online. Go ahead, Robin. Robin, you're muted.
Hey, that work? Okay, it didn't catch my swear, so that's always a win. Good evening, Robin Nelson. So my questions are twofold. First and foremost, what do the rental agreements look like length of time wise? Like how long will a teacher be in contract for this unit? Is it going to be the yearly renewal type of, sorry, yearly renewal type of contracts, or is it going to be for a longer amount of time? So that's my first question. And then secondly, I like to know how things work. So I ask a lot of how questions. So this is a how question. What is the legal basis for restricting this workforce houses to education faculty only? And that's it. Thank you.
Well, the first question, I guess we can take, and maybe the second question, we can punt it to Sherry. Typically, the length of the lease is 12 months, 1 year. And as a typical apartment lease, and then it will go from month to month.
Regarding the second question, whether or not it can be restricted to education staff, it actually depends on the kind of funding we receive. So for example, if federal funding is sought and used, we actually cannot restrict to a particular group because we have to follow fair housing laws. So what we can do, and what we can do very explicitly or specifically, is create a priority of preference. So it can be that educators or those who work at the school can receive the higher priority. And we're hoping that with demand for amongst teachers, because this is what we hear. And in fact, I think at a previous meeting, I showed the results of the employee housing survey that the Department of Education did. Mililani is #1 on the demand for amongst teachers. So we're hoping that that demand is going to be able to take care of the capacity in the housing units, and so that it can all be for educators at the school.
Yes.
Okay, I believe there was a second round of questions.
Yeah, so please come up to the mic and introduce yourself if you wish.
Aloha kako, Maka Casson Fisher, resident of North Shore. My parents live in Mililani, and I look forward to this project. I would like to also, I guess, suggest and encourage that priority list include HLP teachers. HLP is the Hawaiian language program. Hawaiian language program is the Kaiapuni, the school within a school. Hawaiian language teachers are many, but finding housing that meets salary range is difficult. We are unable to get a kumu out in Haleiwa that was approved, but we can't get a kumu out there because of housing. So this central Mililani option looks promising. And just so that we're all aware, Waiau, Aia, is the closest Hawaiian language program for elementary. And then you have to go out to Ko'olauloa for Haula. So housing for Hawaiian language program, Kumu, on your priority list. Thank you.
Mahalo for that input.
Okay, does anyone else from the public have any questions or comments they would like to bring up? Okay, seeing none, Danielle?
I believe we're all clear here online. Did Sabrina have a second question?
Yeah, so let's go Sabrina, Kurumi, and then Mary.
And then we'll close it after Mary.
In regards to the EA, is it going to investigate or address the infrastructure problem with Site B or the secondary site that was part of the concern last time, that $5 million to connect the sewer line and all that?
I'm going to let the project team answer that question.
Yes,
I'm
well,
not-
the
yeah.
EA will address all of the infrastructure needs of the project, where it's located, how it, and where the hookup can be.
Kurumi?
I have two questions that have popped up with respect to the EA. The first one is, interestingly, that you had mentioned that the longevity of someone who can occupy this building is probably year to year, and probably as a new teacher might take them only up to them getting their tenure, which is about 2 years. Then after that, what happens? But then again, you mentioned the federal mandate, that after that, when you don't have possible occupants of new membership into the school system, then you can open it up to anybody. And now this becomes a 4-story apartment building smack dab in the middle of Mililani town. And that was not the purpose of this housing unit. It just totally defeats the purpose. And that is a problem. Now, my next issue here is, for many years, there has been a security light at the stadium that for some odd reason is illuminated nonstop and is never turned off at night. Now, that was a major problem for people in the residential district right across the street along the Nob Hill perimeter. But nothing has been done about that, but people have been living with it. Now, what happens when you build a 4-story building, and I'm assuming it's 4 stories, but a 4-story building that is illuminated nonstop for security reasons or because people are occupying those rooms in the building, and then you have lights going into this residential district?
Well, longevity of occupancy, I think you're concerned about whether they would only stay there for 2 years or only able to stay there for 2 years. I'm sorry, I didn't get your concern on that.
It's for new teachers. This
Right,
housing-
it is for new, right. It's for new teachers, but were you concerned that they could only stay there for 2 years, or you think that they would likely only stay there for 2 years?
What is the criteria of a new teacher?
It's actually for any teacher, and the purpose is to recruit and retain, right? Obviously, teachers, educators, and to provide housing for educational staff as well. And I don't think it's targeted for entry-level teachers, but it doesn't preclude other teachers from renting. And we're trying to, of course, we're trying to target the entry-level teachers, so we're trying to, make sure that they're able to get in there. Now, on the federal requirements, I kind of mentioned, just wanted to reiterate that we're following federal requirements on the rent rates and income limits. But I think maybe you were referring to Sherry's comment that we couldn't restrict it to based on depending on the funding sources, we couldn't restrict it to just educators or teachers, right? That we could give preference. However, other and your concern is that, say, you know, teachers or educators decided they didn't want to live here anymore, right? And what would then who would these housing be rented, apartments be rented to? I mean, we're confident that, you know, between educators as well as education staff, that, you know, that they will be occupying the units and we will not have a need to go to general public.
And maybe I can add, so there are two housing projects that were public-private partnerships at the University of Hawaii, and they were targeting students, UH students. So it's same kind of a situation where the preference is given to UH students, and they are all filled with UH students. Well, the first one is. The second one just opened recently. You might have seen it on the news. It's called Haukani, and it's for graduate students. And the preference is for graduate students, and they are also opening it up to faculty as well as undergraduate students, and it's being leased up right now. So I think there is a demand amongst teachers for housing. And remember, Mililani is the most desirable place, and it's not only for Mililani. Mililani is so convenient that a teacher could be working on the North Shore, as the Kumu suggested, or on the West Side, or even in town. So I think we're pretty confident that there will be demand by teachers to be occupied by teachers or educators.
Okay. Mary Smart, I also am concerned about the statement about if you get federal funds, because to me that invalidates the whole thing, that you'd have to open it up to the general public. So are you planning to get federal funds? Can you avoid getting federal funds?
I'm going to pass that question on to the development team so in this public-private partnership, the developer seeks their own funding, and there are various ways of obtaining funding. So I'll pass it to them.
Well, our original financing plan, which is still, you know, in play, is to seek low-income housing tax credits from the state housing agency. And using low-income housing tax credits, you know, they have certain rules on occupancy, and they allow us to usually it's supposed to be open to the general public, but under certain circumstances, they will allow us to have a preference. So if we use low-income housing tax credits to finance the construction or development of this project, then we'd have to abide by those rules. And using those tax credits, they're the most prevalent source of financing for, you know, this kind of housing projects. So it would be in line with what Sherry was saying as far as preferences for educators as well as educators in the school system staff. However, if there are other sources of funding that we don't have to use, you know, low-income housing tax credits, then of course, you know, we'd certainly, you know, look at using those. You know, if the legislature provided funding, more funding for the project, then certainly, you know, we'd welcome that.
Okay, Danielle.
Okay, well, we have lots of questions for you all, and we look forward to continuing this relationship with School Facilities Authority and Pacific Housing Assistance Corporation. We further look forward to a lot of these questions having answers, so that this project and this building relationship with the project and the Mililani community can continue to grow in a fruitful manner to support both the project's intent as legislated by the legislature and the governor, as well as the community's general well-being, which is, you know, our burden to share. So Thank you so much for this presentation. We look forward to further conversations to help build a very good project for the Mililani community and our teacher workforce.
Thank you,
Thank you
Chair.
very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have a very brief update on the Kamananui Gondola Agritourism Project in Mount Kaala. I'm inviting Kathleen Pahinui, Raquel Akchu, Chair and Vice Chair of the North Shore Neighborhood Boards, Mr. Gil Revere from Keep the North Shore Country, as well as Maka Kason Fisher, who spoke earlier, who represents the Wailua Hawaiian Civic Club. Folks, thank you for being here tonight. We do know that we did a special meeting with you just last month, but if you could just provide a brief update of what's been happening with this project over in your area.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. And yes, I have Maka, Gail, and Raquel with me tonight. So thank you, guys. Just very quickly, thank you, board members who came last month. Really appreciate your time. We found out recently from Councilmember Wire that the developer had called DPP to tell them they were looking to pull this conditional use minor permit, but they have yet to submit a letter saying that that is in fact what they're going to do. So we don't know really what their intentions are, other than they just called DPP and said, oh yeah. And Councilmember Wire is monitoring this situation for us with DPP and has been staying in close touch. That's really kind of the biggest update, other than, you know, we just really appreciate and we ask for your support on this resolution that Chair has submitted to you guys. This issue affects all of us, even though it may not seem like it. They got through a CUP minor on a project that, as you all saw, was very big and very impactful. And that could happen to any of our communities where somebody comes in and they say, oh no, this is just this. And if DPP, which this also happened under the previous administration, is not paying attention or really looking at what they're trying to do or making sure they're coming to the community, this is what you could end up with. So, and you guys have lots of ag land around you as well. And I know you care about that. Food security is, I think, something we all care about a great deal. So thank you for your time. We're here for questions if you have any. Thank you.
Okay. Before we open it up for
Sabrina?
questions, one sec. I just have a quick follow-up question and then we'll open it up to everybody. Kathleen, would you explain to us why you believe as North Shore Neighborhood Board Chair, this resolution is still necessary despite the update from the developer? Thank you.
Well, they haven't submitted a letter. A call to DPP means nothing. I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, we're looking to pull it, but they haven't. We don't know what their real intention are, if they've really done it, if they're going to do it, or maybe they were running scared. We have no idea. I just wanted to let you know the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board also passed the resolution. Wyatt Nanakuli has voted on to hold a special board meeting with Waianae, and Waianae's meeting next Tuesday, and we will be there to provide any information, and we hope that they will also support a special board. I've talked to the chair, Mililani Mauka. I believe he will be putting it on his September agenda, and then we're going to go back to Wahiwa. But we think this is just important for all of us. So this resolution, despite what we think the developer might do, which we don't trust, I'm sorry, let's be honest, we really need this resolution because this also helps your council members know that their community, so they see this and they go, oh, okay, my community supports this. They don't like this project. So when our council member goes to whatever committee or the full council, they all know that you guys support them. So for example, Chair Waters now knows the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board, that community does not support this project. So it gives them that ability to say, well, my community doesn't support this. And that helps Councilmember Wire. Thank you.
Okay, let's open it up to questions. Are there any board members who have questions for Kathleen?
Sabrina?
Member Gustafson. My understanding, though, based on your presentation at that special meeting was that even if he pulls the request for modification, he can still continue construction under the minor permit.
Yes, he still has the minor permit, but we are working on different other avenues here because we believe that having the CUP minor is flawed to begin with. So even though we're opposing the modification, we still oppose the original permit as well. And we are going after that original permit. We're looking at various options. And we also know the fact he put in the modification tells us he doesn't want to pursue it anyway, but we are going to go after it.
So DPP already authorized that minor permit approval. Can we ask them to reassess that approval?
Absolutely, because part of it is, have they met the conditions? There were, I remember, 26 conditions, Gil, that they had to meet, more or less, such as doing a study of the Pueo, doing a real traffic study, doing the reforestation of 500 acres. They haven't done, to our knowledge, any of that.
So do you think that we should draft a second resolution asking them to reassess the minor permit, or keep this resolution thinking that they're not going to pull the modification?
I think this resolution that the Chair Bass sent over to me is a great resolution. I think it echoes what we're doing, and I think that's really important to show solidarity. Thank you, Board Member Gustafson.
Actually, Sabrina, I'd like to, with regard to that question, I'd like to bring to your attention the fourth resolved clause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not only in that clause do we urge DPP to deny the CUP minor modification, but we're also asking them to also require the applicant to pursue a CUP major permit, which would then trigger the EIS and meaningful community consultation, which they have not done with the North Shore Neighborhood Board. So I don't think a second resolution would be necessary for reassessment, since we've kind of covered that in that fourth resolved clause, but we can talk about the resolution later when the resolution is up on the agenda. Thank you. Go ahead, Trevor.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, I have a short question. So basically, just to like restate what you said earlier, in practical terms, nothing has changed since July 30th. Like, I mean, the permit is still live. The application to modify the permit is still live. And so that's still where we are right now.
Correct, exactly.
Okay.
Well put. Thank you, Trevor.
Dennis?
Yeah, I do have a question. I looked at all this. I understand what you're saying. And the only question I had is, has the LLP ever said anything about reaching out to the dirt boards to make their presentation?
No, actually, and I do believe I mentioned it that night, or actually Senator Riviere mentioned it. They did send us a letter that very day, like at the 11th hour, saying, oh, would you mind sharing this with everybody? I did not respond that evening. I did eventually send it to all the board chairs, and I sent it to my board, and I sent him an email that basically said, I'm not your messenger, girl. You know, you don't send us a letter at the 11th hour and then expect us to hand deliver it to people. That's just wrong. And I felt it was very condescending, and just basically kind of showed to me what their attitude towards the community is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Okay, Danielle.
Member Ka'anehe has a question online. Go ahead.
Mahalo, Josie Kane. Have they started any kind of construction?
Yes, actually, I'm going to ask Vice Chair Achu to come up because she actually can see pretty well over there, as well as Senator Riviere. So, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Raquel Achu, North Shore. Yes, there has been some activity that we have submitted to DPP with the grace of a trusty little drone footage. There has been, the work they're doing is supposed to be in compliance with the conditions that were placed. which would include, minor surface, clearing land, not grading and grubbing and digging. So, and that's what we have found they've done. They've started trails for their ATV and dirt bike and e-bike trails. And the digging is considerable, which concerns us because there is no cultural monitoring. And we know that we have very strong cultural significance within this valley. Also, there have been small structures that have been put up that are claimed to be agricultural accessories. We don't believe that to be true. So there has been just creeping into the construction part, but nothing really severe or significant in terms of big trucks going in and pilings being drilled in. You would have seen us on the news by now if that happened. But the digging is of grave concern for sure. Like I said, no cultural monitoring, no cultural assessment, no environmental, and a lot of our native species are in there. So we are trying to address that and sending footage in pretty consistently as we receive it.
For those videos somewhere, I guess public or for somebody able to see it? Thank you.
Not yet, but we can do that for you. I don't mind sharing.
Oh, so just very briefly, so the getting permission to do grading is separate from the CUP. And you're saying that they're already doing that, even though they don't have a permit for that from DPP?
Yes.
Okay. Ed?
Member Ed, so if they are doing some grading at this time, does the city consider that a violation?
We hope so.
And has that been reported as a violation?
It has been. I've reported it and I've supplied all of the footage. And I did hear back from DPP and they are looking to send someone out to go look at it because it's a tough place to get to. You can't just freely walk up and look at it. You have to be able to gain access into these areas and it goes up the valley towards the reservoir. So the digging, the depth of that digging and the impacts it has into this land where there's nothing supporting any added gulch or ditches. So yeah, we're just waiting to hear what the inspectors have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Kurumi?
Unfortunately, when it comes to grading and you get cited, you pay a fine, but you're not required to place everything back the way it was. So I kind of feel like they have monies. They don't mind paying the fine.
They don't like being made shame of either. So it's okay. We won't relent. We won't push. We're still going to push back at everything.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Danielle?
All right. Thank you so much to Kathleen, to Raquel, to Gil, and to Maka for being here for your brief update and presentation tonight. We do have a resolution before us for consideration following this presentation. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to board business. Members, a resolution has been sent to you titled urging the City and County of Honolulu Department of Planning and Permitting to deny Kokonahua Ranch's conditional use permit modification for the Kamamanui project on the slopes of Mount Ka'ala. I'd like to make the motion to adopt this resolution. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Kato Zawa. Members, we're in discussion to the resolution. Does anyone have any discussion or amendments? If so, it would be helpful to have the amendments in the chat.
Okay. Does anyone have any discussion or proposed amendments? Please raise your hand. Yeah, no one in the room has nothing to add.
Yeah, I'm looking online. I don't see anyone with their hands raised online. Okay. Seeing and hearing no discussion, thank you for the support, members. I'd like to turn it over to Rachel for the vote. Oh,
Kurumi, did you want to say something? Oh,
Someone might think that this is little, but it's significant. I was at the meeting on the 30th, and at the last moment, a board member from, I think it was Wahiawa, had mentioned that part of Mount Kaala was sacred and asked for a revision. I would disagree with that, and if it's in ours, I think that was my reservation. The entire Mauna is sacred. And I have a problem with that. And some people will think, oh no, it's no big deal. But if you're Kanaka Maoli and you know the Aina, the entire Mauna is sacred. So that modification, I believe, should never have been made and should have been left as was.
thank you, Karumi. Yes, I have. I actually rewrote the resolution. It is not the resolution provided by the North Shore Neighborhood Board. That is because I did receive some amendments provided by board members related to that resolution. And while I share that, and I absolutely believe as well that Mount Kaala is a sacred mountain for our island, and it is a part of my own upbringing and my own work. I felt that I honestly did not want our board to debate the sacredness of Mount Kaala. The point of this resolution is really to stop this modification permit and to encourage DPP to have the developer properly go for a major conditional use permit, trigger the EIS so that they can properly legally work with the North Shore Neighborhood Board. So as chair, instead, and while I share that feeling about Mount Kaala, I am aware that some of our own members do not. I chose not to have that debate, and I redrafted the resolution as provided for this board. The majority of the point of this resolution is to still be oppositional to the gondola project, since these gondolas and these zip lines are not going through environmental impact statements. And, these gondolas are being built at 500 feet. And so we don't know what the environmental impacts of large gondolas will be in a very important mountain for our island. So I'd like to just share that with you, and thank you for your concern.
okay. Anyone else have anything to say? Okay, so I would like to say something just very briefly. I do think it's important. The resolution is important because, again, notwithstanding whatever your opinions as to the value of Mount Kaala is, what is going on here is that there is a developer that basically managed to get this project approved through a regulatory loophole, has been adversarial with the community, with the neighboring community, and is now, from what we've heard earlier tonight, we're hearing evidence that they're just straight up disrespecting the law. And so I think, at the end of the day, what we're really asking for is just for DPP to bring down the hammer on them. That's basically what the resolution is asking for. Like, when we ask for them to route them through a CUP major process instead of the CUP minor. And hopefully that's what's going to happen one way or another. So, okay, Danielle.
Is there any further discussion on the resolution before us, members?
Yeah, no one in the room has their hand raised.
Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for your support on this matter. And I like to thank everyone for supporting the North Shore Neighborhood Board. We're all going through our own project in our own community, and I've become very thankful to the School Facilities Authority and their developer for working with our community and our local neighborhood board. And I'd imagine how furious I'd be if the project developer did not work with our neighborhood board. in our own community. And so I very much sympathize and extend my aloha to North Shore Neighborhood Board and thank all of you for that support. Without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Rachel for the vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat the motion. The motion is to adopt the resolution urging the City and County of Honolulu Department of Planning and Permitting to deny sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that word, ranch conditional use permit modification for the Kamana'anui project on the slopes of Mount Ka'ala, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I will, when I call your name, say aye, nay, or abstain. Rana?
Aye.
Aye. Catherine Ozawa?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Ramadi? Absent. Hanoi?
Aye.
Aye. Dolores? Aye. Freed?
Aye.
Aye. Gustafin?
Aye.
Aye. Kanehe?
Aye.
Thank you. Ka'apanaaki? Aye. Kim? Aye. Pupuka'a?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Darsha Lee? Thank you. Marilyn Lee? Thank you. Nagamine?
Aye.
Thank you. Alex Ozawa? Thank you. Park?
Aye.
Thank you. Ross? Okay, I'll put absent. Segura? Okay, I'll put absent, not knowing.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Smart?
Aye.
Thank you. Jeffersina?
Aye.
Thank you. Kennard?
Aye.
Aye. Williams?
Aye.
Thank you. Bass?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so that's 21 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstains. The resolution has been passed.
Thank you so much, members, and congratulations to North Shore Neighborhood Board. We're happy to stand with you in solidarity on this project. Okay, next up, there was a motion by Board Member Ross regarding the rescheduling of the Neighborhood Board 25 meeting on Wednesday, November 26th, which is the night before Thanksgiving, to meet on Wednesday, the week before, November 19th, 2025, at 7 p.m. at Mililani High School H building. This is a motion that was brought up in the last meeting in July 23rd, and it has rolled over to this agenda. Is there a motion? Well, the motion has been made. Is there a discussion on this matter?
Sorry, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Discussion?
Sabrina?
The only thing that I would say is, I do believe that the Mililani Town Association, board meeting is on that day. And I know, representatives, attend that meeting, as well as I believe we have 1 or 2 board members that might attend that meeting as well.
Okay. Anyone else?
I have a
No one
question.
else in
Who
the
would
room?
be impacted, please, I guess, who would be impacted by a double meeting, or I guess this let me rephrase that. Who would be impacted by the MTA meeting being held at the same time as the Mililani Neighborhood Board meeting for 1 month? I see one person's hand raised. Is there anyone in the room?
And I think Val Okimoto and Michelle Kandani are both on the MTA board.
Okay, they're not. None of them are Mililani Neighborhood Board members, though.
No, but they can't be here to answer questions.
Right, they have staff.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 board member. Okay, good to know. Is there any other discussion to this motion?
Yeah, we're hybrid meeting. You can alt tab between Zoom windows.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
no one else in the room.
Sorry, someone said they had a question.
Yes, myself, Josie Ka'anehe. Would I be able to be excused, or is that going to be part of my absentee then?
There are no excuses according to the neighborhood plan. There are no excused absences, so that would be counting as an absence. Is there any further discussion regarding this motion?
Going once, going twice. Yeah, no one else in the room.
Okay, Rachel for the vote.
Okay, so the motion was rescheduling the neighborhood 25 board meeting to Wednesday, November 19, 2025 at 7 p.m. at Mililani High School H building. Moved by Ross and second by Nagamune. When I call your name, please cast your vote. Lana?
Abstain.
Abstain. Thank you. Catherine Ozawa?
Aye.
Thank you. Karmati? Absent. Inouye? Aye. Flores? Aye. Freed? Oh, Anne, could you repeat your answer? I didn't hear that. Thank you. Josephine?
Oppose.
Okay, no. Nehe?
Oppose.
Thank you. Kapana Aki? Oh,
Yeah, Kurumi stepped out.
okay. I'll put no answer for that one. Kim? Aye. Kupuka'a? Aye. Darsha Lee? Aye. Marilyn Lee? Thank you. Nagamine?
Aye.
Thank you. Alex Ozawa? Aye. Park?
Oppose.
Thank you. Ross? I don't think I see him online. Okay. Segura?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Smart?
Abstain.
Abstain. Tofsina?
Oppose.
Thank you. Bernard?
Aye.
Aye. Williams?
Oppose.
Okay. And Bass?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we have 13 ayes, 5 nays, and 2 abstain. So this motion has been passed to reschedule the meeting to November 19. Thank you.
Okay, we will reschedule that for the board package. Next up, we're going to go into the reports of chairs and boards committees. For the chairs report, you'll see on the agenda that I have appointed new chairs for the committees of community partnerships and community outreach. That used to be Alex Ozawa. That is now Kate Ozawa, and she has already begun our very responsive social media outreach. So thank you, Kate. Also, Josie has stayed the same as Community Recognition and Service Awards. Martina Segura had other commitments. So I've appointed Ken Inouye and Skylar Ross to serve as co-chairs for community maintenance and walk audit. So members, I'd like to really encourage everyone to populate things you see that need repair and maintenance in the Mililani community and within our board's jurisdiction, to put that, take a photo, write it down. I'm noticing there's a lot of faded signage. There's some cracks in the sidewalk. Put that down in the neighborhood boardwalk form. And now we have 2 co-chairs who will pass that along to either the city or the state or MTA as appropriate. Trevor is remaining as the Planning, Zoning, Sustainable Development, Climate Resilience Committee. Skylar Ross had to step down from transportation and OMPO since he works in the transportation sector. So I have appointed Ed Flores as the new chair. So congratulations to Ed. Dennis Kim is remaining as the chair of Military Affairs and Emergency Management. Darsha Lee is remaining as the chair of Health, Houselessness, and Human Services. And Parks and Sabrina Gustafson is remaining as the chair of Parks and Recreation. And last but not least, Marilyn is remaining as the chair of education. Between that and the resolution working on this gondola project, as well as, having these conversations with SFA. The only other thing I'd like to report is that Mililani Straub opened last week, their new facility next to the Mililani Popeyes on the Mililani Town Center. That was very big news. They did invite our board. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend, but it's still an exciting opening that will just improve our community just a little bit more. So wanted to congratulate Mililani Hawaii Pacific Health for that. That completes my report. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none. I'm going to move on to.
Wait, sorry, Rudy?
Oh, there's a question. Rudy, hi.
Oh, I was just wondering if we were all going to be able to give our reports. I do have a report.
Yes. We're going to go to it.
Okay.
We have to keep within the 3-minute time limit, though. Okay, Kate, any report for community partnerships?
Yes, very briefly, I've begun working with both Danielle and Kathleen Pahinui to report on. There was originally supposed to be some water outages in a specific area, excuse me, of our district, but it was canceled last minute. I've posted on our Instagram stating such.
Thank you. Questions for Kate, members? Seeing and hearing none. Josie, do you have a report?
I have no report, and I'm sorry, question for Kate. Is that Facebook and Instagram? Is that the two? Thank you.
I only have access to the Instagram right this second.
Mahalo.
Okay, we'll work on that to make sure they're all lining up. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Josie. Next up, I don't believe that there's a report for Ken Inouye and Skylar Ross since they were just appointed. Trevor, for planning, zoning, and sustainable development and climate resilience.
No report this month.
Yep. Ed Flores, I don't believe there's a report since you were just appointed to transportation. So we'll move on to Dennis. Dennis, is there any report from military affairs and emergency management?
Yes, I've been talking to the 25th Aviation Brigade, and we were talking, I mentioned this to you earlier, that they are looking at allowing our neighborhood board to take a tour of their new facilities where they have the helicopters stationed. If you drive up Cam Highway toward Wahiawa, you see a lot of helicopters on the left side. And they said maybe in September or October, they would be willing to do it at that time, except that the activities coming up for the joint exercises, that it's got to be in a window there. But all the people above them said it's a really good idea to engage the community. So the key would be, if you are interested in that, please let me know. I have several people told me already, but I think Danielle, you said we got to go through Rachel.
Yep.
And she passes everything out. So maybe Rachel, you and I can talk after this. And so that's my report.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Yeah. Also, what time you're thinking about? We could have day or afternoon, after work type. So.
Good idea. Kate,
Okay.
I see your hand is raised. Do you have a question for Dennis?
I just wanted to express my interest, especially if it can be any time other than a weekday during normal working hours. That would be fantastic.
Okay. And Rachel will follow up with an email to all members regarding times and preferences. Thank you. Okay, Darsha, is there a report for Health, Houselessness, and Human Services Committee?
Sorry, no report, Chair.
No worries. Thank you so much. Next up, Sabrina for Parks and Recs.
I'm still waiting on Chair Bass to review my survey regarding the dog park presentation that we
Yep.
have. That's still in the works. I will bring the concerns about the district park to Department of Parks and Rec. And there was one more thing. Oh, I am doing an investigation at the Kuahilani Neighborhood Park next to Mililani-Waipi'o. There was a concrete enclosure that was there and people were dumping items. I complained to the city, and for some reason the city's solution was to put up boards across the enclosure, but pretty much they just made a area that's easier to hold the stuff that they're dumping in, because now it can't overflow because the boards are there, keeping all the material in. So I'm not sure what the thought process was behind that one, but I'm in the process of researching that one as well.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. And yeah, I recall our conversation and I thought that September would be a good time. And it's certainly panning out that way, given that we had such a full docket for July and August. So thank you so much. Members, are there any questions for Sabrina? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Marilyn for education.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did receive information from both the middle school and Mililani-Waipi'o, and this is the first time we've really received a report from the middle school, so I was glad to receive it from Assistant Principal Horstman. And these are some interesting things that they're doing. Mililani Middle School is working with a college recruiter from UNLV to bring college preparatory presentations to our 500 plus 8th grade students in the fall. The session will focus on what students can be doing now and throughout high school to ensure they have the best opportunities to attend the university of their choice. Next, during the first quarter of school, Mililani Middle School will bring the Hawaii Bicycling League, the Honolulu Police Department, the U.S. Marine Corps Band, and the U.S. Air Force Band to campus during the lunch periods in an effort to ensure students are making connections and understand that their classroom learning correlates with real world opportunities. And then on October 22nd, Mililani Middle School will be hosting the annual Mililani Complex Elementary Cross Country Meet. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade participants from all 5 feeder schools plus Haleiwa and Waialua Elementary will be competing in a 1-mile race. The Mililani Middle School cross country team, the MHS, JROTC cadets, and student leaders will be assisting with the event, which runs from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for physical activity. And lastly, I know if I've gone on over my 3-minute limit on this, Mililani Middle School's parent-teacher organization and music department will be hosting a haunted house and family fun night on October 24th and 25th from 5 to 8 p.m. The event will feature a haunted house, games and activities for younger children, and food, truck, snack vendors. Sounds like a fun thing. And from Mililani-Waipi'o, they are also going to be participating in the cross-country race, and they have a cross-country club which has nearly 150 students participating. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, Marilyn. Members, are there any questions for Marilyn on her report? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, thank you so much. We're at the closes of reports for the board chair and committees, and we'll open it up to elected official reports. I don't see Nestor Garcia online representing Congressman Case. Speak now. Okay, we're gonna move on to Tony Schwartz, Governor's Representative.
She's not in person or online. I don't see her.
Okay. Next up, Jocelyn. Welcome. Representing
Aloha, aloha
Mayor
kako.
Glenn
My name is Jocelyn Doan. I'm currently the Deputy Director for the Department of Enterprise Services. We oversee and manage our zoo, our city's golf courses, the Neil Blaisdell Center, Waikiki Shell and some of the city's concessions. Mahalo for having me. I was excited to become the representative for the Mililani-Waipi'o and Mele Manu neighborhood board because I'm actually a Mililani girl. I went to Kipapa Elementary and graduated from Mililani High School. And I actually was a teacher at Mililani High School as well for a little while and could have used housing because I was totally broke at that point in my life. So the mayor's office just has a few things to share. Nothing Mililani specific, but we've welcomed, well, except for me, we've welcomed some new members to the cabinet, including myself, as well as Kehau Pu'u to the Department of Parks. She's returning from the Office of Wine Affairs, so I'm happy to share some of the things I heard today with her. We also have a new director for the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts, and the zoo is happy to announce that we have an assistant zoo director, which apparently we have not had for a very long time, and she's very experienced. So that's the new members of the mayor's team. Mayor also wanted to make sure we shared a little bit about what's happening with some land stuff that we're doing. We've demolished a property we acquired on Alawai. We're moving forward on planning for affordable housing there. So I know this board cares so much about housing. So I wanted to make sure to share that, as well as the city's recently acquired a parcel next to HPD headquarters on Baratania Street to help support expansion of their operations. So yeah, that was it basically. Mahalo for having me. I'm looking forward to joining you guys every month.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Welcome to the Mililani Neighborhood Board. And yes, we're very excited to have you. And welcome back to working with the Mililani community. We had a wonderful relationship with Tracy for years and years. And it's so funny that you took Tracy's job too as deputy, right? So you very much
We wish her well in her retirement. I'm sure she's enjoying her life.
Yes. So thank you so much. We had a wonderful working relationship with her, and she was very thoughtful and informative in terms of liaising with us on city concerns. So thank you. I'm going to open it up to members for members of the board for any questions to Jocelyn.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Oh, Darsha?
Yes, a community member was wondering what the construction is over by Kama'io Park, and when that sidewalk is going to be put back.
So there's currently construction there and you're trying to figure out what it is. And then there's, I guess, via that construction, we have removed a portion of the sidewalk. Am I understanding that correctly? So I can follow up on that?
Yes, I think they're trying to figure out if it's the city or someone else or who's doing that.
Okay. Kama'io, you said, right?
Yeah, the park right there.
Okay. I'm happy to follow up on that.
Oh, yeah, Marilyn?
Yeah, thank you. There's also sidewalk construction going on Kipapa Drive, where it intersects with Kuahalani, right before the before the shopping center. And the sidewalk was ripped up and the signs are put up, you can't use the sidewalk. But that's a very busy street and there's a lot of people walking down it. So I'm wondering when that's going to be finished, because there's a lot of older people in the neighborhood and they walk to the store to shop. So if you can check on that. I think you probably know where that is since you went to Kipapa School.
I might have to come and drive by to recall, so I can recall better offhand.
Right on Kipapa Drive.
Got it. Kipapa and Kohelani.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, by the shopping center.
Yeah. Or Kipapa and maybe Ikaloa, between Ikaloa and Kuahilani, right in that area.
Okay.
It's a coin. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Anne has a question online. Go ahead, Anne.
Okay.
Yeah, could you please, Jocelyn, look into this DPP problem? Apparently there was a migration, so we have just, I don't want to go into the details of the project, but my constituency includes the condo community I live in, 283 doors. We're looking at 100% pipe replacement. Apparently DPP did a data migration in which they lost data, including permits. And so we're involved in I believe this is being addressed now because I called Tracy. Tracy got me to the head of DPP. But before that, our developers and our engineers could not get DPP to answer the phone or the email. And now we finally got an answer, and we're told there's a 3-month backlog. And if health and there's something, this needs to be fixed. So if you could please look into it and explain to, because this is going to impact everybody who has, aging condos and aging infrastructure in all of our communities. Our condo is 50 years old. We're not unique. A lot of the structures that we're building in Hawaii are now 50 years old. So DPP needs to get its act together. I don't know what it's going to take, but that problem needs to be addressed.
Happy to follow up on that. A lot of the software upgrades that DPP is implementing is meant to actually be helpful. But of course, in the short term, while things are migrating, there's going to be a little bit of struggles. I know that their staff is providing tech support for folks that were trying to figure out what happened to their permit, if their application was moved over or not. But I'm happy to make sure I, get some specifics, phone numbers, et cetera, for folks on that.
Okay. Anyone else in the room? Okay. No one in the room has any more questions?
Are there any members of the public who have any questions for the mayor's representative?
No one's raising their hand.
All right, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. See you next month.
Mahalo.
Okay, I see that we have next up Councilmember Okimoto's office.
Aloha,
Who is on?
Michael. This is Pua from Councilmember Okimoto's office. Welcome, Jocelyn, to the board. I missed you, and I'm glad you're part of this board. I just wanted to give some updates and announcements for the Mililani community. We apologize that Councilmember Okimoto cannot attend the meeting today. So some of the announcement that we have is Bill 4950 passed out committee and it's going to full council. Councilmember Okimoto was honored to attend the Blessing of the New Straub Clinic at Mililani Town Center. Seeing the community come together for this special occasion made it clear what a wonderful addition this clinic will mean to Mililani. This location is, it opened on August 25th, providing urgent care services. It also provides primary and specialty care like pediatrics, OBGYN, dermatology, and sports medicine, including labs and x-rays. So just so you guys know what's available at that particular clinic. Councilmember Okimoto also had a great opportunity to witness the swearing in of the Honolulu Youth Commission for the 2025 to 2026 term. She was honored and privileged to support and recommend a Mililani town own Abiana Moore as she's a new youth commissioner. Her passion, intelligence, and dedication to service far exceeds her years. So she comes from Mililani town. So congratulations for her. An update regarding the burned elevator located at Mililani Town Center. So Councilmember Okimoto has asked the Department of Transportation to present this project to the Department of Budget and Fiscal Services to find funding, because apparently it's the forecasted budget was $200,000 to fix the elevator, but the cost is going to be higher. So we recommended the Department of Transportation to go to the board, to go to Budget and Fiscal Services directly for and find options for funding. Resolution 25-205 renames Pearl City District Park Pool the Ken Suanaga Pro City District Pool. I know it's a little bit outside of your guys' district, but I'm not sure if anybody has, you know, that he coached you in regards to swimming. It's in recognition of being a coach for 59 years of mentorship, Army services, and community contributions. The one thing that I wanted to follow up that we had a constituent call about was there was a mattress dumped at Kuahelani Neighborhood Park next to Mililani-Waipi'o Elementary School. On August 13th, 2025, the Department of Parks and Recreation removed the mattress and submitted a work order for a no dumping sign to be installed at the end of the month. And as of right now, I did take all of the concerns, the public concerns. Also, I took notes for that to hand off to Erin. If we can work with like the mayor's office to get some follow-up on that. Other than that, is there any questions for Councilmember Okimoto that I can take back to the office?
Thank you, Pua. Members of the board, are there any questions for Councilmember Okimoto's office?
Okay, Sabrina?
First, the mattress was removed. You are correct. And that's what I was talking about. They installed wood, like a wood grate. It's like two boards, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then 3 boards across. So they just made a permanent area where people can throw their trash bags now, and it keeps it off the sidewalk. Great for the sidewalk, but that didn't solve the problem. And I don't think a no dumping sign is going to solve the problem either. We need to know what that little enclosure is for and whether or not it can be removed, because it's there allowing people the perfect place to dump. So just putting a sign there is not going to help the situation. Question for the council member. Can we get an update on the red light, safety red light program, the red light cameras that are installed, and whether or not that program is going to be expanded? The intersection that we spoke about earlier in this meeting, in front of Ruby Tuesdays, would be a perfect place for a red light camera. So many people run that light. The city would make mega bucks if we could get a red light camera there. I think the last camera was installed in 23, so I don't know if the program's closed or if there's any plans to increase the number of cameras on island in the future. Thank you.
Okay, mahalo for that, member Sabrina. I will take that back to the office in regards to really looking at options to possibly eliminate that area where there was a dumping site. I will make sure that my office and Councilmember Okimoto knows about that and see if there's other options.
Yeah, and if you want
Oh, go ahead.
photos, just contact me and I can send you photos of what we're actually talking about.
Wonderful. Okay, photos would be great. So right now, just recalling that there is just wood paneling that's kind of temporarily, permanently blocking it, but still people can actually throw over trash on that area. Okay, I'll make sure to get that back to our office. The safety light program, I can look into that. I know that there's some of that project could be state as well, so I can try and follow up with them. The last time when I used to work for Councilmember Say's office, we found out that they have to get more advanced technology on the red light for the safety. And so they're looking at that as well. But I can definitely take that information or that question back to our offices and our departments, especially the Department of Transportation, and see if there's any kind of updates on that, especially in the Mililani area. Mahalo. By Ruby Tuesdays.
Okay, anyone else? Darcia?
Sorry, I'm going to mention this because I saw it in the report regarding the Skyline Segment 3 groundbreaking. And I was wondering who is involved with like the traffic study for the traffic change pattern over by Ivile and Nimitz. It just doesn't seem to really make sense that you would have a HOV lane on Nimitz and then you dump it into this lane that has to merge. It just seems to defeat the purpose of having an HOV lane. So I'm just wondering who like approved that, or was there a traffic pattern study done? And why they would choose to make that change. And then the second part of my question is, I saw that the changes are 24/7, so all the time. And I'm wondering if they were planning to have workers out there 24/7, because I've been by there and they've made the traffic change, but it doesn't seem like any work is happening. So if you could just find out those answers, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for that question. I know definitely when it comes to detours or temporary changes on the streets, normally that's either the Department of Transportation while they make the revisions, or also depending on what street it is, it could be state. So I know that in regards to the rail changes, that's probably city and county. So that's the Department of Transportation that we could forward that question to and see if that's a temporary thing or if it's a permanent thing. Because I know that in that area like Nimitz and also on Dillingham, there's still major constructions, and it's been like that for multiple years based upon what they have to revise and what they have to fix and adjust. So I can take that back to the Department of Transportation and see if we can get some kind of update on that. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Okay, Ed?
Just to reiterate what I stated earlier to HPD, and member Sabrina had just indicated about that red light area. Another area is Kohealani and Meheula, because that's the second light headed toward the freeway, and that's where everybody's hitting it, right past that one also. So if you could check into that area also, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for the question. Remind me, Kohealani and what was the other street? I'm sorry.
Meheula.
Meheula.
Yeah, so it's going to be the intersection that's closest to H2 because there's more than one Kohelani and Meheula intersection.
Okay, so close to the freeway. Okay. That might have to involve state as well, the State Department of DOT, because when it comes to freeways and inlets and outlets that come that go towards the freeway, that might involve state as well. We can follow up on that for you. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, Danielle?
Okay, thank you so much, Pua. See you
Hello,
next
everyone.
month. We have lots of questions that need to be answered.
Okay. Mahalo.
Okay. All right, is anyone here representing Councilmember Wire's office?
I'm actually here in person tonight, Chair Best.
Wow,
You're not
Go ahead.
here. Before I start my report, Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Wire's office. I just wanted to mahalo the board for your support of the North Shore Neighborhood Board on the Mount Ka'ala resolution. So thank you very much. So Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Councilmember would also like to mention that he was honored to join the other three neighborhood boards, the Waipi'o, the Mililani-Waipi'o, as well as the Wahiawa neighborhood boards, supporting the North Shore Neighborhood Board with regards to the project on Mount Ka'ala. There were over 150 residents from Central Oahu and North Shore. And so Councilmember wanted to extend his deepest gratitude to the board members and the community members as well who took time to participate. Councilmember also wanted to mahalo the community for your fast action during the recent tsunami warning. Please know that we are working closely with our first responders and city administration to ensure that we're prepared in the future. That being said, Councilmember did introduce Resolution 25234, which would strengthen the emergency response in coastal inundation areas. This would urge the city to install monitoring devices such as traffic cameras in coastal inundation zones where flooding and storm surges are a growing threat. Cameras are a proven tool for improving situational awareness. And of the 276 cameras operating on Oahu, there's only one located on the North Shore and only one, I believe, in the Nanikuli Waianae area. This resolution passed the Public Safety and Economy Committee on August 21st, and we look forward to seeing it on the full council agenda next week, Wednesday. Councilmember also introduced Resolution 25185, which would develop a residential relocation assistance program. This would support the creation of a assistance program to help existing residents that would need relocation support for city-funded housing projects. This resolution also passed on August 19th in the Committee on Housing, Homeless, and Parks, and we also look forward to seeing it on the full council agenda for next week. And then one last event that Councilmember was happy to join the Honolulu Emergency Service Department for their second annual mass casualty incident training. This hands-on event brought together first responders, healthcare professionals, as well as public safety professionals to help prepare for emergencies, as well as make sure the community is ready. And if anyone has any questions for a council member, I'd be happy to take them back.
Members of the board, are there any questions for Councilmember Wire's office?
I don't see any in person.
Okay. Seeing in members of the public, are there any questions for Councilmember Wire's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Okay, next up, we have Trevor Nagamine for Senator Kidani's office.
Okay, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, members of the public. My name is Trevor Nagamine. I'm here on behalf of Senator Michelle Kidani tonight. So what I was passing out just now is actually our newsletter from July, and I do have an oral report for this month, for the month of August. So just, let's see. So just very quickly, DOT has announced that they will be repaving Kamehameha Highway between Waipahu Street and Ka'uka Boulevard. This is technically not in Neighborhood Board 25's jurisdiction, but it is used by a lot of Mililani residents who commute to and from town. Sorry. So the project is currently in the design phase and is expected to go out to bid in February of 2026. So we'll hopefully see DOT's contractors doing work on it by this time next year. So under Senate Bill 1300, which is now law as Act 139, this was a bill introduced by Senator Kidani. So students who currently qualify for reduced price meals are able to receive a free breakfast and a free lunch each school day at no cost to them. Again, Senator does encourage families to apply through the Easy Mail app on the DOE website to determine if they are eligible for free or reduced price meals. Again, and as chair of the Senate Education Committee, Senator is proud to share that the DOE has a new partnership with the Culinary Institute of the Pacific at the Kapi'olani Community College. And so this is a partnership, again, to encourage locally grown food to be produced to provide school meals, in school, that food from Hawaii will be used to feed students in Hawaii for school meals. And on July 28th, Senator was with the governor, Senator Donovan De La Cruz, and the DOE Superintendent Keith Hayashi, sorry, to break ground on the Wahiawa Center for Workforce Excellence. This is part of the Wahiawa Center Civic Center project. And so this will include new administrative offices for the Lilihua Mililani-Waipi'o complex area and satellite classrooms for the UH Community College system. And so construction is expected to take another 2 years and will include like a multi-level parking structure. So other than that, I'd be happy to take any questions. Okay.
Members of the
no one in the
board,
room?
are there any questions for Trevor?
I don't see any hands raised in the room.
Okay, members of the public, are there any questions for Trevor representing Senator Kidani's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Charles Miller representing Senator Donovan De La Cruz's office.
Hi, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. Thank you, community. I just have a quick report. Senator attended the Stroud Mililani Clinic and Urgent Care Expansion Blessing last week, Thursday. And then Senator staff attended the food drive at Mililani Town Center. And then an update on the H2 metal plate construction was completed on Monday, August 11th. And that's all I have. Thank you, Chair. And I'm more than welcome to take any questions back. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Members of the board, are there any questions for Senator De La Cruz's office?
Not in person.
Right. And members of the public, are there any questions for Senator De La Cruz's office?
Yeah, no one from the audience.
All right, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Charles. Okay, next up we have Representative Laura Matsumoto. Is she here in person or is a representative available online?
Yeah, no one's here, it looks like.
Oh, wow. Okay. Alrighty, and next we have Tosa representing Representative Trish LaChica's office. Tosa, welcome.
Aloha Chair Bass, members of the board, and neighbors. Tosa Lobandan here tonight on behalf of Representative Chica. She unfortunately couldn't join because she is currently on a plane headed to DC to attend the 50 Can Education Conference. So, however, she sends her warmest aloha and apologies for missing the meeting. I just dropped some links into the chat, her newsletter, and then our 2026 pre-legislative survey. We're asking that any District 37 representatives or community members, please fill out that survey so that we can kind of get a really good idea of what you would like to see our priorities be for the upcoming legislative session. And also town halls, we're looking to also host a few of those. So we would definitely like to be able to get some ideas on how we can make the community better because every voice truly matters. We also have an exciting update. In July, we shared about the agrivoltaic site visit we had, and we've now scheduled it for the commuting. So there will be a tour at the Hawaii Agrivoltaic Research Site at Clearway's Mililani Solar Farm, where crops and solar panels grow together side by side. It will be on October 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Space is limited to just 20 participants. So if you would like to join, please call our office at 808-586-6150 to reserve your spot. I will put the phone number and my email in the chat as well when I'm done. I would also be more than happy to take back any questions or concerns. We're always open to hear from you. That is it for me.
Thank you, Tosa. Members of the board, are there any questions for Tosa representing Representative LaChica?
No one in the room.
Okay, seeing and hearing none, are there any members of the public who have any questions for Tosa?
No hands raised.
Okay, thank you so much, Tosa, for your report. Next up we have Representative Amy Peruso. Is she in person or a representative available online?
I don't see her in person and I don't see anybody online.
Okay, guess not. Okay, that closes elected official reports. We're going to go into announcements. Our next board meeting is going to be held in person and online Wednesday, September 24th, 7 p.m. We had some stragglers today who tuned in online, so that was fun. Remember, we all voted for 7 o'clock here at Mililani High School and online, so that'll be then. And of course, you can catch the broadcast of these meetings on Olelo. That concludes the announcements, and it is 9:22, members. I'd like to adjourn this meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.